Chicago is a city with a lot of tall skyscrapers and a lot of architects, and it's known for its architects, and frankly that's the reason that I ended up here. I work at Adrian Smith Gordon Gill Architecture, where I'm a senior designer.
We're an international firm, so we practice all around the world: Middle East, China, US, Canada, India.
We're really focused on high-performance, sustainable design.
Large-scale mixed-use projects.
We've got a range of experience, especially in super tall buildings.
To high-performance buildings that are measured at exceptional energy savings, some of them being the most energy efficient in the world.
Brad's a tremendously talented individual. Really, qualities are a tremendous design sense and ability to conceptualize unique ideas and bring them into a kind of formal gesture that we can develop and sell to our clients.
This is an example of one of the projects that I've been working on, the Clean Technology Tower. And in this, we've designed the building to really harness the environment. So in particular, we have these locations that are bringing the wind in and funneling it through a wind turbine at each one of these locations, and the whole shaping of the building is allowing for the capture of that wind, as well as shaping that allows it to self-shade itself from the wind.
So we can give him a task, he can conceptualize it, and then bring a team together to kind of finish up the idea.
Restaurant levels of either being here.
So I think it's a tremendous drive combined with design creativity that allows him to be successful and really thrive in this environment.
The university has been a major part of my growing up experience. Everything kind of traces back to there in one way or another. I grew up in actually the University Village, where my parents were in law school at the time when I was born. I actually kind of disrupted my mother's law school experience for a little while.
He was born at the University Hospital. He came home to the University Village. He lived in the University Village until we could afford to move out, which was a little while.
I remember as a little kid going with my mom to the Natural History Museum, which I wanted to be a paleontologist when I was a kid, all the way to kind of the other end, going to Pioneer Memorial Theater, which is kind of where I got my love for plays and for art. With my dad. The close tie about living near there and the things that we could do was always a real important part of kind of nurturing me growing up.
I think the invention of Legos had a lot to do with his architectural development.
He didn't do 12-inch structures. He did big things and as imaginative as possible.
Once Brad tried to burn his Legos, and that was the only time where we actually almost burned the house down.
I was asked to design their house, which is in Bountiful, Utah. Brad was a young boy then. I don't remember much about him other than the fact that as the house was going up, I presume he was there among the 2x4s and plywood as the thing was being framed up.
Jack Hammond really has influenced my life and my wanting to be an architect. I grew up in a house designed by him that was really sensitive to a lot of things, including the environment, and really taught me without knowing I was ever going to be an architect about the nature of how to design a building and allow it to work well with the environment. And to grow up in Utah in a home that doesn't have air conditioning and really only needed it 1 or 2 days a year is something that was phenomenal, that even in my classes at the U was not understood. The University of Utah also played into my passion for environmental design in a lot of ways. One, through the professors in the architecture school. There's a sensitivity to nature and the environment that you don't see at other schools. The other ways that it influenced me is obviously some of the buildings on campus and the way they were designed. One of my professors at my graduate school had gotten an anthropology degree from the University of Utah, and his understanding of living cultures of indigenous people and how they respond to the environment, how they built, was very influential. We had a very strong program, I think they continue to have a very strong program, that was rooted in really strong principles.
He was always asking things, asking questions, and he felt kind of uneasy. I want to do more. I want to do these other kinds of things that the rest of the other students would not normally do or ask.
He was involved in leadership positions with a number of activities on campus. I know he was a volunteer with a variety of activities going on off campus. he was actively engaged in the student government, bringing energy and ideas and activity out of that. And I think, that's an architectural process, taking disparate elements and bringing them together into a whole that's more than the parts. And Brad just seemed to innately understand that on a sort of bigger level.
It's really challenging to classify Brad. He doesn't fit into one group because that would sort of suggest that he doesn't fit into some of the others. So in that sense, it's really hard to say, oh, well, he was always the clown or the outgoing one or always dedicated to school or the creative one, because he was really all of those.
It's been about a collective experience that has shaped the way I am and the attitudes that I have towards the environment, towards buildings, towards people, the importance of doing other things, not just being an architect. And the sharing and the synergy of ideas that have come out from the university, from living in Utah, from my studies after that, and from my daily professional life, really is where all the genesis of the ideas come from. And it's really about bringing together ideas that come from different places. And some of those ideas definitely are rooted in my experience at the University of Utah. The sauna, they did have a sauna.
When he found out he was getting this award, he was totally embarrassed. He said, I'm just a guy who goes to work. He said, I don't deserve this.
What's it like to have a son go from Legos and trying to set them afire in the closet to designing world-class structures in foreign lands? Honestly, it's almost amazing.
I just am so happy by what I see him doing.
To go from a kid who's climbing around among 2x4s and plywood many years ago to be part and parcel and an important part of the design of the tallest building in the world is quite amazing. And I'm proud that he comes from the University of Utah.